Okay, so here's my PLC plan. It's focusing on communication with parents, which we'll see. So here's the table of contents. Looks like a lot, but it's really not, I promise. So our agenda today is we're going to look at the vision statement, the focus problem, the article that I based all of my research off of, the focus question that I had for my classroom, and then the 2 ways that I implemented the research into my classroom. Then wrap up in the next steps that I have. Okay, so my vision statement for kind of just as a teacher and for PLCs is to provide instruction in a caring and safe and healthy learning environment responsive to each student in collaboration with families and community, because it's really important for not only as staff members for us to work together, but it's also important for us to communicate with our families so that we're working together with them as well, and the kids know that we're all on the same side. So the focus problem is that I have a ton of parents who want to participate in the classroom. They want to help, they want to know what's going on, but their work schedules don't usually allow it. I have a lot of second and third shift parents, but they want to be involved somehow. So I wanted to see how social media and just technology in general kind of helps include them, which we'll talk about. So the strategy is to involve my parents more. I've wanted to increase my communication between more than just email, because sometimes emails get lost or they don't get checked on time. So we wanted to make sure that they're actually getting everything. Plus, with our classroom blog that I'm going to talk more about, they can get all the information. They can always go back to that information. They don't have to worry about saving it in an email. It's all housed in one place. And then they get to also see pictures of what's going on in our classroom without me sending them each individually to them. So the article that I kind of based all of my research on was Social Circle. It was actually geared toward principals and how principals can use social media to communicate with their staff members. So instead of just having a faculty meeting, they could send it out through an Instagram. They could send out like key points of the faculty meeting through Instagram so they could go back, or using a school blog. It also talked about how principals could talk to families outside of school. It's kind of the same concept of what I'm wanting to use it for in here, but it's more of a staff-principal relationship. So most of the ideas in this article, it had probably about 7 different social media networks that you could use between blogs and Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and there was plenty more, but they can all be adapted into the classroom as well. Okay, so kind of I already said this, but the focus question is, does social media make parents feel more connected with their child's classroom? Before I started anything, I got a baseline and kind of sent home a little survey that you can see right down here. It was one simple question: how connected do you feel to the classroom with email? And the results actually surprised me, because even though that email quite often, they didn't feel as connected as you would think just through email. So here's the results. I had 7 that did not feel connected at all. There was 11 who were somewhat connected, and about 3 of them who felt that they were very connected with the classroom just based on email alone. So the first implementation that I did was our classroom blog. Here's just some examples of it. So this is our homepage. We've got our reminders. We've got our December project, when things are due, upcoming events, so that they know exactly what's going on in our classroom, and even for Spirit Nights. So after 2 weeks of using our classroom blog on a regular basis, I sent home another just 1 question survey. Same question, just changed it to how do they feel connected with a classroom blog, to compare to the baseline. So you can see that a lot more parents started to feel somewhat connected or very connected and it dropped in the not connected. So obviously the classroom blog was working. But I wanted to take it one step further and try to get some more parents who felt very connected and not just somewhat connected. So using Remind, which we've been using since the beginning of the school year, but I was using it more frequently during this time frame. And Remind is awesome just because if you're not familiar with it, you can send out just quick little messages. It's like a text messaging service, but you don't have to send out your personal phone number to any of the parents. The parents can sign up if they want. You're not pushing them to do anything, but they just can sign up at the beginning of the year, so you have all their contact information and you can shoot it out really quick. And it makes it even better because you don't have to add all the fluff like you do in an email. So data collection for Remind was the same thing as implementation 1. I used it for 2 weeks actually, and then gave another survey of just how they felt connected with Remind. Same exact thing, it just asked for Remind. And it became equal for somewhat connected and very connected. And not connected, we still have that one parent who just doesn't feel connected at all. But the thing that I loved most about all of these results was that I also was implementing all of these 2 ways during parent-teacher conferences. So I also not only got to send a survey home, but I got to talk to them and kind of get their feedback on that as well. And asking them which one do they prefer more. And a lot of people love the Remind because it was more convenient. They don't have to log on to a website or search in something. They don't have to bookmark it. It comes straight to their phone and they can see it. The other thing that I loved about Remind is instead of finding an email, attaching something, a picture of maybe their student's work for that day, you can just snap it on your phone really quick.
Joe Priestley, you can come to the office.
And you can put it into the Remind app and it just sends it to them straight to their phone. So they did like the Remind better. The surveys were very helpful. They didn't take very long. It was easy to come back. Next steps. I will definitely continue to use both those the classroom blog and Remind to communicate with reminders, what we're working on, and other important information, plus sample work from the kids. But I also want to look into other forms of social media like Facebook and Instagram, just because we are constantly on those 2 apps in social media, checking things. So the only thing I don't like about Facebook is if they're not subscribed, or it can kick off their newsfeed. It doesn't necessarily go to their newsfeed all the time. So if you don't actually like something a lot, you can have like 600 friends, but you're not going to see all 600 friends' newsfeeds on your thing. You have to actually be interacting with Facebook. So the more that you like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the more that you actually like pictures or like their statuses and stuff, the newsfeed comes in more frequently. So if you're sitting there wondering, I haven't seen something from this person in a long time, it's more than likely it's not that they're not posting. It's probably that you haven't really liked anything. So you have to kind of boost that up. So if parents aren't interacting with our Facebook page, they might not even get that information. So that was one thing that I had a concern about with trying Facebook. Instagram, I've used a little bit this year, and my parents seem to really like to interact. They comment a lot, and it's just a quick thing for them, but it's just pictures. So if you wanted to send home a reminder or something, you would have to have a picture of that reminder, or maybe type something up and take a picture like from your screenshot, something like that. So it's a little bit harder to send reminders and important information home that way to communicate. So, and that's it. Thanks for